So since taking a look at prepared Hosho Wu, I thought it would be a good idea to put the spotlight on prepared Rehmannia, because the two herbs share a lot of striking similarities and they actually go very nicely together. Prepared Rehmannia is also, as is the case with Hosho Wu, one of the primary yin-jing tonics of traditional Chinese herbalism. And it has a very long-standing reputation as one of the greatest longevity tonics. Now, it has quite a sweet taste. It's actually really delicious. And with that sweet taste comes something of a warming nature. Now, this herb is traditionally prepared in a tonic wine in order to bring out all of its tonic properties. Now, the unprepared variety actually has quite a cold nature to it. And it's very good at reducing inflammation. It's traditionally used to lower fevers. It's a very different herb, really. It's the same herb, but prepared differently with very, very different actions. It's really easy to tell when you've got prepared Rehmannia because it's very, very dark. It's pretty much black and very bendy. And if you bite off small amounts of it, it's very chewy as well and very sweet. So when we've got this prepared variety of Rehmannia, like I said before, it has a very deeply nourishing effect on the kidneys, so it's having a very positive impact on regenerating this Jing essence. So obviously when we start to rebuild this life force that, obviously we're expending through encountering various stresses in life. So when we begin to replenish this life force, obviously our youthful vitality begins to increase. And when that happens, we can definitely see a serious increase in our fertility and obviously our libido as well. So prepared Rehmannia is actually one of the main herbs in the overwhelming majority of herbal formulas that are designed for strengthening reproductive capacity, or, herbal formulas within the Chinese or the Taoist herbal traditions at least. And it's also one of the ultimate blood-building tonics. So it's really perfect for those people that have very weak blood, or for women especially, many of whom may struggle with very heavy menstruation, or anybody really whose constitution requires them to regenerate blood regularly. Now, the gently warming nature of Rehmannia is also said to influence much less painful and more mild menstruation, and it's been known to be very good for balancing hormones in the case of uncomfortable menopausal symptoms, and also in stabilizing thyroid function. And because it's so nourishing to the kidneys, it's obviously very good for, supporting the adrenals and, again, further insulating us from the rigors of stress when we're taking it over the long term. Now, not only is it excellent for building blood, but it's also known to strengthen the muscles and various tissues of the body, and to strengthen the bones, and it's very good at building bone marrow. And this is really interesting because in traditional Tibetan medicine, the body is said broadly to consist of 7 main constituents. Each constituent contributes to the formation of the next constituent. So the first constituent is nutrients that we consume, and those nutrients then go on to produce the blood. The blood then goes on to produce the tissues and the muscles of the body. That then goes on to produce the fats of the body, which then produces the bones, which produces the bone marrow, which produces the reproductive fluids. And it's said to take approximately, for an adult, male or female, approximately 8 full days as a cycle from nutrients that we've consumed to basically cause this cascading effect to create all of these bodily constituents all the way to reproductive fluids. So we can see in the case of prepared Rehmannia that it actually works on pretty much every single bodily constituent. So it's actually helping to regenerate and reanimate us on every single level physically. Rehmannia also contains a glycoside constituent called catalpol, and this has shown neuroprotective benefits specifically towards neurons that are transmitting dopamine. And, you know, this is really important because a lot of people feel that due to whatever circumstances that they're no longer able to produce enough dopamine. And in a lot of those cases, there's actually, it may not strictly be true, you know, there's a hidden factor that quite possibly the dopamine transmission channels or their effectiveness may have been compromised. So although Rehmannia is not able to actually repair these neurons once they're damaged, it does offer protection from them deteriorating in the first place. Rehmannia is considered to be somewhat greasy and slippery in its texture when we consume it. And this is very relevant to people that perhaps have very weak digestion or perhaps chronic loose bowel movements, because people that fall into these kind of categories are going to probably find prepared Rehmannia quite difficult to digest. And this is why it's traditionally very often formulated with herbs like astragalus or pomegranate, because they're going to really increase that digestive fire and help the whole digestive process occur much more fluidly with less unwanted side effects. So, you know, these herbs really help to process the heavier, more moist herbs like Rehmannia. So similarly to Ho Shou Wu, prepared Rehmannia it's an outstanding anti-aging medicine. You know, it can begin to heal and reverse all of the factors that are commonly associated with a chronic yin-jing deficiency. So this is ideal for mums that have just given birth, nursing mothers, so they can begin to replenish a lot of that lost essence. And really just for people that have lived a life of excess, you know, people that have become absolutely exhausted through the fast-paced modern lifestyle that is just completely unsustainable. So all of the symptoms we see branching off of this kind of exhaustion as well, you know, like grey hair, hair loss, lower back pain, dry skin, cracked lips, cracked nails, articulation issues in the joints, weakness in the joints, weakness in the hips, the knees, the ankles, and yeah, just chronic exhaustion in general. So prepared Rehmannia is truly an excellent herb for recovering from illness or recovering from injury due to the unsurpassed ability that it has, you know, to revive and to reanimate.